Take warning, you better take warning. Take warning, you better do good. Let your light shine bright, let your light shine right. Respect your fellow man as you should. Take warning, you better take warning. Take warning, you better do good. Let your light shine bright, let your light shine right. Respect your fellow man as you should. The evil that men do lives after them. The evil that men do lives after them. Your evil today will blight your tomorrow. So do good today and avoid your sorrow. Take warning, you better take warning. Take warning, you better do good. Let your light shine bright, let your light shine right. Respect your fellow man as you should. Take warning, you better take warning. Take warning, you better do good. Let your light shine bright, let your light shine right. Respect your fellow man as you should. The evil that men do lives after them. The evil that men do lives after them. Your evil today will blight your tomorrow. So do good today and avoid your sorrow.
Take the message, everybody.
Take warning, you better take warning. Take warning, you better do good.
Yeah, my name is Jasnity Kaldata from City, Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my ex next to the cop, and what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
Good night. Welcome to Straight Up. Where do we start off? 12 minutes after 9 o'clock. What's happening in your neck of the woods? What is on your mind other than September 1st? And for those of you who are following the news, those who are interested in politics and elections, September 1st is Elections Day in Guyana. South America, you've got to go out early and vote. The vagabonds out of office, the sanctioned people, never before in the history of Guyana. And a lot of them in the PPP love to badmouth Burnham. A man who has died, how long? From 1985 to now, 2025. How many years Burnham died? Do the math. how many years since Burnham died? But every single day, the PPP cry, they yawn, they moan, they get belly walk, belly ache, Nara, white mouth, all sort of things they got about Burnham, Forbes Burnham. A lot of them have gone to their graves with Burnham, Burnham, Burnham. Every night they go to bed, Burnham, Burnham. One man turned to his partner, and notice I say partner, and mind you, notice I say partner, in bed, and say, Kwame, where you going? Kwame gone outside Burnham, 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 Burnham. Jack Dale gets nightmares, Burnham, Burnham. Air Finale gets nightmare, Burnham. Every single thing is Burnham, Burnham, Burnham. But these Pacus have had more years than Burnham to do something for Guyana. And they're not able to do anything other than cause corruption. Lots and lots of folks have been sanctioned. Lots of people who were connected to them were sanctioned. We know all the people connected to them, the Mohammeds, this other woman, Mae Thomas, and the drug lords, and so forth. According to OFAC, they recently sanctioned all these guys. 1, 2, that is Demon, Paul Dabby, Randolph Duncan, Himnat Saw. All of these guys are friends of the PPP regime. They're said to be friends of the PPP regime. All of these people were sanctioned. Sanctioned. I don't know. They were sanctioned. 40 years. Thank you, Robert Perry. 40 years Burnham died. I was a little boy in a pumpkin pants, short pants, running around on the quarantine playing cricket. Cricket. That was the best they had. I don't know how come I didn't get into the West Indies cricket team. Man, I would have. Anyways, that's another story for another time. Sunil Gavaskar and Vivian Richards and those guys had nothing in me. A little boy. Man, I hit the ball so far, closed my eyes, I couldn't even see where it went. That's how good I was as a young cricketer on the current team. But back to these vagabonds. Look, Lynette Nelson, don't let me get on the wrong side of things tonight. I have always respected you, Lynette Nelson. Now, suddenly, Lynette Nelson is asking, where is Valda Lawrence? Now, Lynette Nelson, that's a good question. And don't get me wrong, you know, you're an ardent supporter of 107.1 FM. You're here every single night, and we love that. And we appreciate you, Lynette. Good question. Where is Valda Lawrence? Where are the folks in, the members of parliament? Where are these guys? How come a lot of them aren't campaigning? They got me on social media, on Facebook, on the radio, probably doing more campaigning for them. But then again, you know, they like cuss me, me, just get cuss all over. But me really worry with them. It's like throwing water on ducks' back. Throwing water on ducks' back. Y'all have known me long enough. Throwing water on ducks' back. Right, Conrad August? So Conrad August is asking a question here. Probably the first sensible question he has asked in a decade. Conrad August says, so if a government official gets sanctioned by OFAC and is still on the government's payroll, should that government be sanctioned? Like I have said, this is probably the most sensible question Conrad August has asked in over 10 years. And I have known him longer than that. Longer than that. I noticed somebody mentioned, whose mother? Somebody said Valda who? That's Miss Simons. closer to elections time, do not be surprised, guys. Some people will switch, right? Some people will do some endorsements that will give some of y'all a little belly walk. And those of you who are from Guyana, you would know what belly walk means, right? Now, here's how I'm reading the cards, man. Not bingo cards like Francine Cruz, that little, anyway, sticky fingers, Francine. Somebody said Francine is on some other programs cussing me out. Sticky fingers, Francine Cruz, and bingo tickets. I was waiting for you tonight, Francine. I heard what you're performing with. So let me see here what's happening. Eon Williams has said, Mark Dog, he said he now see how wicked the PPP is, why they persecuted you. No, Doggy. Doggy is Doggy. And why you think I don't have nothing negative to say about Doggy? One thing you got to respect Doggy. When he barks, he tells you what he's barking about. So Doggy will be Doggy. If he's watching, somebody tag Doggy and tell Doggy, come over to his boss program. His real boss. Not boss that they picked up the other day. His real boss. And so now they're understanding why I was persecuted. Not only me. There are scores of persons who were persecuted. Who are and were persecuted. Not a little touch here and there and you're crying, you're being persecuted. Right? Now, look, don't get me wrong. No government or whether they are installed or not, should use the state resources and to use state agencies to persecute or go after people. But not when people are being persecuted. Those who now claim that they are being persecuted were part and parcel of this whole posse that were persecuting people. When people were being killed left, right, and center, nobody cared. They now care, right? I'm being persecuted. Oh, they're fighting for justice for people. And no, the wounds are still fresh. Some of these people did some very, very bad things against Guyanese. Bad things. And that is why when you see, y'all mention certain people, like the Mohammeds and these people suddenly feel as though they just came out of nowhere. They were right there, parts and parcel of the persecution of Guyanese. And alleged corruption of the Guyana police force, corruption of the government, and all these sorts of things. All of them are one big party, one big family together. Now suddenly they fall out, they're cussing each other, left, right, and center, family feud and so forth, and they want all of y'all to get mixed up in their business, right? But y'all didn't get the memo yet, y'all didn't understand what's going on yet. Soon y'all will understand, Hopefully it's not going to be too late. But I'm glad my friend Conrad, August, and others do understand. When y'all think Conrad didn't get sense, you get a heck of a lot of sense. Now let's go to somebody and try to make sense out of what this person is saying. I don't know. I want you guys to listen to this here. Please do. Listen to this and interpret it. Make it make sense, as we would say. Make this stupidity make sense.
It's a very sunny afternoon, and we're at Albion, and we're supporting the People's Progressive Party. I want to advise everybody that is looking that they must support the People's Progressive Party. Come September 1st, we're going to vote suddenly for the People's Progressive Party. Thank you.
Let it blow, blow, blow. Right? Lots and lots of comedy. And it doesn't. This guy, who doesn't even know why, and I'm sure he's a 10-day worker. I'm sure the person who paid him probably a box of food, not cook up. Because I don't want it to feel that every person who's of African descent love cook up. Some of them guys like the dal and rice and fine cookabelly fish and all these sort of things. They like that. But I want you guys to listen. Because it's like they jarre this guy. Because you guys know what jarre is, right? Let me see in the column there if you know what jarre is. Or they something they put in I don't know if they're putting it in the rice and so forth. Maybe we should ask Jermaine Figueroa, James Bond, And these guys, it's like they get catch. They get catch. They get trapped, they get catch, and they're captured now. And it's difficult for them to be freed again, mentally and otherwise. It's difficult for them to get freed. But this guy here, I don't know what he's saying, whether it makes sense or not. He himself knows that he's not talking the truth. Listen to him again.
It's a very sunny afternoon, and we're at Albion, and we're supporting the People's Progressive Party. I want to advise everybody that is looking that they must support the People's Progressive Party. Come September 1st, we're going to vote suddenly for the People's Progressive Party. Thank you.
Up to now, he doesn't say why he's voting for the PPPC, and nobody can say why they're voting. Not even Bond, not even Figueroa. Well, look, forget about Bond. Bond is basically a flatfoot hustler. And it's looking as though Figueroa, well, we knew Figueroa all along what he was doing. He was shopping around. He was talking to the blue team. He was talking to them. He was talking to everybody, prostituting himself. I don't know, before he prostituted himself like that, these guys, including Bond, I heard Bond in some argument that he had to quiet me down. And look, Bond doesn't want to start me up again, Tech warning, Bond, tech warning. Now, listen to this here now. They're going around the place and they say that they're going to collect some money. They met with Bharat Jagdeo a couple of days ago, and Bharat Jagdeo was pointing his finger at them and all these sort of things. And so he's small finger pointing, And so Bond likes those sort of things, when men point their fingers at him. And so they were all three musketeers saying that they're going to go out there and they're going to work for the PPP regime. These three vagabonds, if they were to go out and work for the party that they so love, the PNC, that they grew up in the PNC, and they this and suddenly they left the PNC and they gone straight over to the PPP, licking everything the PPP does. They're licking and they're licking and they're licking and sorry, I'm getting carried away. Sorry about that, guys. That is all they're doing. They're not doing anything else. The PPP is using them like slaves. And so when you get guys like Jermaine Figueroa shopping around, moving around, looking for the best offer, and so forth and so on, I don't know. I just don't know. Somebody needs to pray for Aubrey Norton and the APNU. Can somebody say amen? Because we're getting to see a big picture, we knew who these guys were all along. It doesn't take a political scientist or a rocket scientist to figure that out. We knew it all along, what was happening. We knew who the culprits were. And Jermaine Figueroa and Bond and these guys shouldn't surprise you guys. Sandy and these guys shouldn't surprise you guys. Somebody needs to walk into Congress Place tomorrow and hold Aubrey Norton down and pray for him. What do you guys think about that? Oops. Prayers, 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 and prayers. Prayers upon prayers upon prayers. Meanwhile, this guy, you know what I mean, from Trinidad and Tobago, he's always in Guyana now. Ian Allen. He is at every PPP's big rally and support group, whatever it is. Is Ian Allen being paid? And Nancy? Theodore Adams? Teresa Sandiford and all of you guys and Ms. Booker? Is the corrupt PPP regime paying Ian Allen? If so, how much? Every weekend he's in Guyana. Or is it a marriage somewhere along? Jagdeo, tell us what's going on. What's the partnership between you and Ian Allen? Now, we don't want to get involved in you guys' personal life and business and bedroom matters. It's none of my business, and it's none of our business here and 107.1 FM. None of our business. Let's get to Wayne Caesar. Wayne Caesar, is it any of your business that you are seeing Ian Allen constantly every single week? Like this banner every single week, right, Twinkle? Twinkle picked that one up so quickly. Naughty, Twinkle, naughty. What do you think is happening here, Wayne Caesar? I don't know what's going on at your end. Is it raining or I don't know. But what's going on here, Wayne? Talk to us. Today, please, if you can talk
Well,
to us.
first and foremost, Mark, I would like to say a pleasant good evening. Yes. Am I audible? I should be. First of all, I would like to say a pleasant good evening to you and all the freedom fighters.
Wayne, I don't know what's going on. You're getting a delay. You got to fix your internet. You got to fix even if we got to put a GoFundMe, we got to do a Cash App. We got to do something. It's elections time, Wayne. We've got to do better. If I am doing better with my internet now, you can do it too, Wayne. What's going on, my brother? Talk to us.
Yeah, well, look, Mark, Guyana is open for business now, right? So when you see all these characters showing up, you know that it's business ventures that these people have in Guyana. And the PPP has been known for that, bringing in a lot of investors. And look, these investors are not, for the most part, they're not there for legitimate purposes. There's a lot of corruption involved. There's a lot of different things going on. But the picture is to paint the narrative out there that all the investors and all the business people, you understand me, appreciate and agrees with what the PPP is doing from a business perspective. The real bad thing about all of this is that in all of these deals, there's nothing really trickling to the people of Guyana. This is just straight up deals amongst rich individuals. The people are not thought about in this whole process. It's just everybody's just in for a piece of the pie. The pie is there. Everybody, everyone. You see, you have the commissioner. It shows you these high-level people, they're all hanging out. Everybody's enjoying themselves. There's not too many people that comes on programs that like to speak on these people, speak on matters and relate these people to them. But I'm going to do so. I have been at those ambassadors all the time. I believe how they practice is not correct. Okay? I don't believe that they are good stewards when it comes to Guyana. All right? But we know, in essence, with ambassadors, they're all there, and high commissioners, they're all there for the interest of their nation. But that being said, when they get into decision making in Guyana, to me, from what I see, from what I've analyzed, it's not decisions that is favorable to the Guyanese people. It's decision that hurts them. And this is what bothers me. And that's why I'm going to continue to call all these people out. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. As we get straight to the point on our questions, let me this guy, Ian Allen, must say how much he's being paid by the PPP to do these silly trips, make these silly trips to Guyana and so forth and so on. If you're now joining us, good night and welcome to Straight Up. My name is Mark Bencham. Joining me tonight is Wayne Caesar. Again, people saw this photograph with Aubrey in some church service or somewhere there. And the pastor, I don't know who's this pastor, but I like that big ring on his finger. There he goes, nice big ring. Keep it away from Conrad August. But Aubrey is getting the prayers. He's getting his prayers. Meanwhile, Wayne, I never asked you this, but I'll and briefly, I want to ask you, what's your take on this hip jumper, Jermaine Figueroa, which was predictable?
Mark, I was always of the belief that Jermaine Figueroa was always on the side of the PPP and just moonlighting on the side of the opposition. He never executed executed his duties when it came to the Public Accounts Committee. Everything just froze with the Public Accounts Committee, and that was it. The guy was doing absolutely nothing, okay? Absolutely nothing. He would come out every once in a while and he'll make a statement as if he's criticizing the PPP. But, you know, deep down inside, that is Irfan Ali's friend, all right? Jermaine Figueroa never cared. You know, what is sad is that Linden is such a tight-knit in Linden. It's such a tight-knit community. And to know that you had a cockroach like that sitting right in Linden, never cared about the people, never cared about anything. But
Wayne, if I caution you, please, do not refer to Jermaine Figueroa as a cockroach. Please. And I say that with all due respect. Do not disrespect cockroach. He is worse than a cockroach. But continue. I just wanted to make that clear.
Thank you so much, Mark, for the clarity on that. Yeah, you see, these are the type, and that's you need to vet your politicians. Although Jermaine Figueroa was not voted into Parliament, he was selected. Oh man, but yes, you were selected to serve the people of Guyana, not to serve Irfan Ali, not to serve the PPPC, not to serve your own interests, but to serve the people of Guyana. And what you do, you turn your back on them. You never work when you was on the side of the opposition. Now you're wearing red. We seen you out in the hot sun campaigning for the PPPC. What is wrong with these guys? Over to you, Mark.
Thank you so much. And let's apologize to cockroaches for disrespecting them like that. Jermaine Figueroa is worse than that. People don't believe in these guys. And even though he and two other they're worse than cockroaches, saying that they are going to go into Linden. When they go into predominantly African Guyanese communities, so to speak, this is how they ought to be treated, because Jack Dio, his own words. And so you guys within the communities should not stop and listen to Jermaine Figueroa, James Bond, or Sandy, or any one of them, or Mandy, whatever their names are. Do not listen to them. They make no sense. They are going into your communities to poison your communities. That is what's happening. So when you see them, you should do what Jack Dio suggested.
Right across Ghana, when the ministers of Granger or Nagamutu come here after the 21st of March, you say to them, walk behind them, chase them out, they're going to be illegal. Say to them, you're illegal. Free up the country, you're undemocratic. They're going to face a different situation right across the country.
When they come to the communities, whether it is in Berbice or Essecubo in Linden or in South Georgetown or Agricola or in Ennore or Port Morant, the people of Guyana should treat them as illegal. I said they should walk behind them, chase them out of your.
Walk behind them, chase them out. Do not stop to listen to them. They have absolutely no value. They are traitors to their own party. There's no justification for them joining an oppressive regime such as the PPP regime. Absolutely no justification. It's all about themselves, for themselves. They are considered flat-foot hustlers because they jump from party to party, hustling. And they collect deals, whatever they can get. They're in office. And this is a guy, Jermaine Figueroa, that we stood right here on 107.1 FM when these vagabonds in the PPP were after him and his brother, calling him foul thief, foul chicken feed, all manner, or Pigpen, Figueroa. Now Figueroa turned Piguero. into the arms of the oppressors. Into the arms of the oppressors. These are people we fought for. We stood up against the PPP for. And look who they're sitting next to. Like man and wife. Sorry, I shouldn't be saying that. But look what is happening here. And they expect to go into communities and people feel comfortable with them. No, man. Chase them out in a nice way, not a violent way. Chase them out. That is all I should say on that. Chase them out. Now, what else is happening in your neck of the wood? What else do you wish for us to discuss tonight on 107.1 FM? Our operator is saying we should talk about this. Good. This is what the PPP is doing. Because they know that in order to remain in office, they want to rig the elections. And they're covering every single base they can cover to protect themselves. And they're putting people in office, whether in the police force, whether in the GDF, whether in the prison service, and the judiciary to protect themselves, protect the corrupt PPP regime. And now listen to this. The acting Chief Justice may soon be, according to a source, sent over to the office of the Chancellor to become the acting Chancellor. The acting Chancellor now is Justice Yonette Cummings. Justice Yonette Cummings may soon proceed on leave. When she's on leave, this person, Roxanne George Wiltshire, will be the next acting Chancellor of the Judiciary. This guy, Navindra Singh, who loves to give people 150 years, 465 years, and so forth and so on. He is, according to a source, mind you, according to a source, he will be the next acting Chief Justice in Guyana. Wayne Caesar, your take on this latest development.
Mark, I am not surprised. I am not surprised. Navindra Singh. I have heard of the guy before, and yes, I agree with what you have to say. But when we talk about Navindra Singh being the acting Chief Justice, trust me, Mark, it's not going to be for long. Okay? They are going to make him permanent. It is not going to be for long. And then with Roxanne George moving to the position of Chancellor of the Judiciary, acting, I don't believe that they will make her permanent. I believe eventually they're going to get someone to replace her. And you see, the PPP does these things. You know why? Because I've always talked about standards in Guyana. And the Guyanese people have not been belling the cat when it comes to the PPP over the years. Okay, so this is a habit that they have developed where they find that, oh, people don't care about these type of things. These are not the type of things that Guyanese people care about. And I hope that something like this opened the eyes of the Guyanese people, because look, when we look at this election cycle and we see where people are talking about wanting to vote, a lot of people are voting where they assuming, not everybody, but some of them are voting because they are of the assumption or the other certain individuals are going to create wealth for them. Okay, but that's a wrong thought. They are going to see that that is not the way government works. You have to pay attention to all facets of the judiciary. Is a part of that government, the parliamentary framework in Ghana, and they need to focus on all of these things. But Navindra Singh Mark. Going forward, there's going to be a lot of decisions that is going to be quite favorable to the PPPC if they stay in government after September 1st, which I am surely hoping not. You know, a new government need to reshuffle these people and need to get this thing with Chancellor of the Judiciary and Chief Justice. They need to get them permanent once and for all. It has been way too long. This is lawless. It's despicable. That's why the country is the way it is. You know, work is not being done, Mr. Benchak. We need to get to doing some working, and these politicians need to start working for a change. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. I notice Ms. Chapman is asking whether the Chancellor Cummings, acting Chancellor of the Judiciary, Janet Cummings, is on leave and will return. Well, according to sources, multiple sources in Guyana, is that is a way to get rid of the acting Chancellor, Janet Cummings, because they're not comfortable with her. And anyone who is independent, anyone who is fair in the execution of their job or their duties, the PPP doesn't like. And so I've noticed a comment earlier that suggests that Roxanne George Wiltshire, the acting Chief Justice, is being removed because of some decision she made. Now, that's in fact, she's being promoted. She's Chancellor of the Judiciary. That is a promotion. That is not being removed. It is a promotion. However, the reason why the PPP didn't want to confirm Janet Cummings as the Chancellor and Roxanne George Wiltshire as the Chief Justice, isn't it pretty obvious? Roxanne George is, well, from looks, is an African Guyanese woman. Janet Cummings, Justice Janet Cummings, is an African Guyanese woman. And so the PPP was so uncomfortable with this arrangement. They weren't comfortable with Janet Cummings, and so by any means necessary, legally, Justice Janet Cummings had to go. They weren't prepared to confirm her. Even when the leader of the opposition, Aubrey Compton Norton, said he has no objections, none whatsoever, to have Janet Cummings and Roxanne George Wiltshire confirmed in both positions. Now, in order for anybody, because you said earlier, Wayne, that this guy, Navindra Singh, will be confirmed or whatever. No, he cannot. None of them can be confirmed. Absolutely none of them can be confirmed without the blessings of the opposition leader. That is according to the Constitution. And I doubt that opposition leader Aubrey Norton will hold the same position that he held, agreeing for both Janet and Roxanne to be confirmed. I doubt that he would want a confirmation of Navindra Singh, and I doubt that he would want a confirmation of Roxanne George Wiltshire as the Chancellor. I doubt that. Now, anything else to add about this, Mr. Caesar?
Yeah, Mark, I would like to make a little stark comparison here, because why I would have taken the position that I have taken is because I thought that this same issue that we're talking about here was applicable when it came to Clifton Hicken and making him permanent. And the PPP was still able to go ahead and do that without, Mr. Norton. Mr. Norton said no. He said no, Clifton Hicken must not be confirmed police commissioner permanently. He must stay in that acting role. For a matter of fact, Mr. Norton didn't want Clifton Hicken. But what? The PPP
but
still...
They're two different. They're different in terms of the Constitution and what it says. My understanding is one says the opposition leader must agree. In terms of the Commissioner of Police, it says that the opposition leader, after consultation with the opposition leader. Now, consultation can come in all form, either through a letter or whatever. That can be interpreted to be so many different things. But in order for the Chancellor of the Judiciary and the Chief Justice to be confirmed, the opposition leader must agree. There must be an agreement, a yes to it. And if you recall back early in 2000 or 2001, there was a situation where Carl Singh had to be placed there as the acting Chief Justice or whatever. And so the then opposition leader had no objection to Carl Singh. And that was when there was Carl Singh and Claudette Singh vying for that position. Carl Singh and Claudette Singh. There were some people who were part of the reform who were whispering in Desmond Hoyt's ear that he should go along with Carl Singh over Claudette Singh. And the rest is history. Claudette Singh became very bitter against Jack Dale. And in 2020, you thought that bitterness would still be there. But I guess she had other things in mind. Some people say money, some people say corruption, but I'm not going to say it here on 107.1 FM. Wayne, we want to touch on the elections on the ground and GECOM. I know you have been talking a lot when on this program or on your program over to you about the fact that GECOM doesn't appear to be ready or prepared for elections on the 1st of September. Do you still hold that view, sir?
Okay, I believe I got the gist of what Mark was just going to ask me. I'm going to say this, ladies and gentlemen. Again, good evening to all of you. When it comes to the Guyana Elections Commission, and we look at the body of work that all of us, including you guys here on the program, listeners, viewers, freedom fighters, would have done over the last 5 years to prepare for these elections. Okay? I was always concerned that work could go to waste. Why? Because of the Guyana Elections Commission. I believe that during this last 5-year period, that on the ground and all the opposition parties, they failed to deal with GECOM the way they should have dealt with GECOM. Also, the Guyanese people in a way failed, because we are talking about their democracy here. We're talking about their right to choose, their right to vote. Okay, Guyana is supposed to be, okay, a democratic nation, a representational democracy. Okay, that means that the people have a right to choose who they want to lead them. All right. GECOM has not put any reforms in place since after the 2020 general and regional elections. Monies were budgeted to the Guyana Elections Commission to do such. It was not done. New voters list, biometrics, none of that. Now, Ms. Rhonda Lane, who I love very much. If you're on, Ms. Rhonda Lane, a pleasant good evening to you, and thank you for all that you do. Ms. Rhonda Lane, Mr. Kadaki, Amsterdam, and a few others would have started an action in front of GECOM where they were protesting every Tuesday. Okay? That should have been a way larger exercise. The people of Guyana really needed to come out there, and if need be, shut down Georgetown. We are talking about your democracy there. Now, all the work has been done, and here we are sitting, waiting for September 1st. We know that GECOM is not prepared, Mark. We know that GECOM is not prepared. You cannot have a list that is larger than your population. That's not making sense. And then a lot of the commissioners on the PPP side, and of course Claudette Singh, they try to make excuses about removing dead voters. Come on, all you have to do is to have family members of those dead voters show up at GECOM with a death certificate and have them removed from the list. I don't see anything difficult with that. An authentic death certificate. I hope we have those in Guyana. Okay? And have them removed from the list. These things were not done. They should have been house-to-house registration to get a new list. Why I say that? Hey, come on. We had three back-to-back-to-back trillion-dollar budgets. Why we could not create the necessary fiscal space in those budgets to have house-to-house registration. Okay? You had CARICOM, you had the Carter Center, you had Maya Motley, Ralph Gonzalez, and everybody overseeing the 2020 elections, and everybody said that, you know, we need a new list. We need electoral reform. Now we're here at 2025 mark. You know, nobody hasn't asked the PPP or asked GECOM, why are these things not done? Why are the recommendations that we would have made, the European Union, CARICOM, all of them, the recommendations that they made, why were they not addressed? Nobody has asked GECOM anything. Nobody have asked the PPP nothing. But everybody is going to show up on September 4th to oversee the election and rig the election, because look, there is no way that the PPP is going to be sitting in power and not rig that election. No way. There is just too much at stake. Okay? Now, the thing is, what measures of the opposition, all the opposition parties, put in place to mitigate the PPP and GECOM, yes, the PPP and GECOM rigging the 2025 elections is yet to be seen. But what I would like to say, Mark, to those observers, they ought to be very careful with decisions that they make this time around. Because I believe with the people, it's this time a long time. It's not going to go down like that. They're not feeling that, Mark. You cannot deny people their democratic right. You cannot come to somebody's country, okay, install the government that the people don't want, turn your backs and leave them. 53% of them living in poverty for the last 5 years. And now you come back again to do the exact same thing. I beg to differ. I beg to differ. I do not believe that the Guyanese people are going to tolerate this. I believe that these elections need to be free and fair. I believe all the opposition parties should have access to all the lists. Okay? They need to get their people at the polling stations up and running. Opposition, please make sure that you get good people, authentic people, people with integrity, people with morals. All right? You cannot go to say that you are going to work for a party on election day and then you show up there and you take pay. It's not fair. It's not fair to the people. It's not fair to your fellow Mati Guyanese. Let's do this right. Okay, let these elections be free and fair, however it may be. Over to you, sir.
56 minutes after 9 o'clock. All the lists, indeed, all the lists. The voters list is just corrupt. It's contaminated. And if you can't get people on the streets now to get it right, you've had over 2 years to get people on the streets, to get it right at GECOM. Knowing that GECOM is on the way of rigging the elections. The smallest child in Guyana knows that GECOM, with the PPP in office, are preparing to rig the 2025 elections. They're doing that. Just like they did this skullduggery with their friends, and now they turn enemies. They have rigged the elections. They have threatened people. Now, one guy here, Ian Williams, is saying it is alleged that Claudette Singh's life was threatened at the last elections. That is why she switched. Now, that is what is alleged. But what I have heard directly from Claudette Singh is that she felt that there was a contract out on her life to kill her, that is. And the person who wanted to see her dead is the Mohammeds. All right. Just thought I'd let you guys. Claudette Singh said that. I'm not the one who's saying it. Claudette Singh who said that. The Mohammeds wanted her dead, wanted to kill her during the 2020 elections. She'll have to answer that question publicly or not. And I'm waiting for her to answer that particular question. If a media person can ask her that. Now we have probably, as we look at the time, I'm looking at some of your comments. I don't, 1 second, please, Mrs. Caesar. I don't think you guys should pay attention to Selwyn. If our operator can just kick him out and let him go somewhere else, let him go over to Kwame's program and distract Kwame's program. Let him go over, operator, and distract Kwame's program. I don't know why you guys pay attention to that guy. Let him go and share out some newspapers. Let him share out some newspapers. And again, I say, in terms of what's happening there at GECOM, lots and lots of corruption. And then we're only going to hear again, we're only going to hear the aftermath. GECOM is about to rig the elections. They want to rig the elections. And the opposition parties, the legitimate opposition parties, we know who those legitimate parties are, should not sleep on the job. They are sleeping on the job when it comes to GECOM. That is what they're doing. Wayne, I saw you put in like this. Well, go ahead, sir. You wanted to add something else?
Look, I just wanted to say this, Mr. Bencher, based on the statement that you would have just made, that Claudette Singh is alleging that the Mohammeds want her dead. I mean, come on, if Claudette Singh, okay, is alleging this, then look, this ought to be taken seriously. And listen, I don't care who is upset with me, who is mad with me, but somebody's alleging, you know, understand me, wants them dead, cannot sit in the highest office in Guyana. I am sorry. That there is not possible. That should not be made possible. Okay? That should not be made possible. And let's think about it. Let's put it into context. Want her dead, why? Because she wanted probably David Granger to go and swear in. Okay? Or she wasn't doing what she was supposed to do for the PPP. So you can't one day get up on one side of your bed, 100% supporting the PPP, and then the other day you get up on the other side of the bed, okay, you want to go against the PPP, and you don't just want to go against the PPP. You don't want to just take your money and push it behind another party. No, you want to sit in the seat of president. Quite concerning. My question, what qualifies you? Again, I'm going to ask these questions because these are serious, pertinent questions. What qualifies you to be president? What is it that you are going to do for the Guyanese people that is so special? Okay, a lot of people run around and say, well, the man has given people scooters. He has given them houses and all that. I want to ask the question, how many houses did you build? And let's take those scooters, monies, and everything that you have given to Guyanese people, and let's compare that to how much gold and cocaine and everything that was smuggled out of Guyana. Look, we got to deal with facts. This is critical. We cannot make a mistake here. Hence the reason the U.S. ambassador came out and said what she said. I couldn't say too much to that because what she's trying to say to Guyanese, and I'm not speaking to the ones that are educated and understand. I'm speaking to the ones who do not understand. What she's trying to say to you essentially, okay, because these ambassadors, they help to facilitate investment coming into Guyana. Whether you like it or not, that's one of the things that they do, okay? From a U.S. perspective, the U.S. ambassador. From the EU, the High Commissioner. That's what they do. And what she's saying is that if somebody that have sanctions is elected to the National Assembly, it can cause an issue when it comes to investment coming into the country. All right? She is right, guys. Look, we cannot look at facts and don't want to address them. Okay? We cannot look at facts. Some people quick to jump out and say, oh, sovereignty. Okay, sovereignty. What needs to happen is that candidate needs to come and face the camera and speak to the people and address these allegations that are being made. If he can come out and do that, that clears his name. But I get angry when I see people just walk behind a shades and they're not saying much. How can you be president? How can you? What are the basis of the Guyanese people voting you as president? You haven't showed them any policies. You haven't bring forth anything to convince them. Okay? Guys, you cannot vote for government because you say, I want money. We could take money and give to every Guyanese. And what we fluctuate the country. Over to you, Mr. Ben. Just wanted to edify the people here on what I'm seeing.
Yep. So at 5 minutes or 4 minutes after 10 o'clock, we'll pull the curtains down. Tomorrow's Straight Up should have a guest. We'll let you know. However, thank you all so much. I know it's elections time. What we do here at 107.1 FM, we give you facts, we give you information, and not out of emotions and so forth. And we hope that you walk away tonight understanding your mission come September 1st. What you have to do is to go out and vote. I've noticed there is some ad out of GECOM asking people to go and uplift their ID cards. Now, they get some people running around the streets and they didn't even pick up their ID cards as yet. So those of you who have relatives back home, friends back in Guyana, urge them, if they haven't picked up their ID cards, urge them to go out there and uplift their ID cards. It makes no sense that you cry against injustices and all these different things. And we know how people are punishing under the corrupt PPP regime, under the installed PPP regime, and you just don't go to uplift your ID card. If you don't do that and you don't vote, well, you have nobody else but yourself to blame. Absolutely no one else. Wayne Caesar, thank you so much for your time tonight. Even at the last minute invitation, you're always there. You're always ready to rock and roll. We'll see you hopefully sometime during the course of this before, or maybe by Friday, we'll have Wayne on. If not, you'll see Wayne back on Saturday with this program. Over to you. Thank you so much, Mr. Wayne Caesar. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Mark. Good evening, everyone. Thank
you. Yeah. Wayne is always energized, always upbeat, always. And I notice someone, if you disagree with somebody on this show, fair enough. If you want to abuse me out or Wayne out or whatever, take it somewhere else. You know, custom with emotions and so forth. And we understand that. And some men get very emotional more than you would expect the women. Well, I'm not saying that because of a woman, she should be. I'm not saying that, but a lot of men are so emotional, and the emotional outburst, I don't know what's going on there. And so if you are going to disagree with somebody on this show, at least be respectful. I noticed somebody addressed Wayne Caesar as a clown. It's not going to happen. Just do not do that. If our operator can find that person and let them know that on 107.1 FM, it's not going to be tolerated at all. And so this evening, I want to leave you guys with what the U.S. ambassador said. And I may talk about that tomorrow night, but I want you guys to listen and listen keenly. Some of you talk about sovereignty and all manner of things, and all manner of things. I've been watching some of the comments on other Facebook pages and so forth, and listen carefully. Listen carefully. And opposition, up your game. That's all I can say. The real opposition, up your game. I'm out of here. God bless you, and continue to pray for that beautiful country, Guyana. Listen to the U.S. ambassador to Guyana. Understand. Read between the lines, mind you. Read between the lines. Give you guys a wink. Read between the lines.
Is energy one of the components in terms of deciding whether Guyana is in fact of strategic interest to the United States?
Absolutely. I think there are multiple factors. Food security is also incredibly important to the United States. I think we all saw how important it was when we dealt with COVID. So Guyana's role in food security, energy security, its strategic partnership with us, and its defense of democracy, all of those things make Guyana an incredibly important partner for the United States.
So really no change from the U.S.'s position with respect to Guyana?
No, none whatsoever. In fact, we're increasing our security cooperation. As you saw, Senator Bennett introduced a bill in the Senate, I think it was last week or week before last, to increase even further past the security cooperation agreement that Secretary Rubio signed with Foreign Minister Tai. He's looking to even increase that security cooperation. So quite the opposite. We're looking to get closer to Guyana to make you an even closer partner.
Any catfish updates?
So yes, actually, I know that there was a meeting that needed to be held, and that was, of course, between, I believe it's the Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Agriculture, and the U.S. Department of Agriculture. My understanding is that that took place, what's today? It's tomorrow. That meeting will take place tomorrow, and that was a critical meeting to answer some of the remaining questions. So hopefully that meeting will go well, and we'll have some results out of that very, very soon.
What about the visa increase, the price for the visa increase? Anything on that?
I heard rumors of that, but I have seen absolutely nothing official. So that, I think right now, that is just out there in social media, but there's nothing on the U.S. government website or information that I as ambassador have received that says that's happening. So I think that may just be a rumor, but we have to wait and see.
The last question, Ambassador, I know you're busy. Is the U.S. at all concerned about Mr. Mohammed contesting Guyana's elections, and if so, why?
Yes, we are concerned. Anytime the U.S. Department of Treasury sanctioned individual has the potential to become a member of government, that is concerning for us. It's problematic in multiple ways because the way that we as the U.S. government can interact with the government, we have to be very careful if that person is involved. Let's say he were on a certain committee. We would have to be very careful in working with that committee. We have to make sure that we didn't work with him specifically. So that's a bit of an issue, yes. And the other thing that concerns me a bit more, however, is that when you see an OFAC sanctioned individual become a part of an official within a government, it sends concern through the private sector of the United States. So you see U.S. companies often rethinking their relationships in the country. We saw it in Afghanistan. We've seen it in other countries as well. They sometimes look to de-risk or to even just cut ties with the country. And we're in such a beautiful position right now. All these U.S. companies want to come to Guyana, and Guyana is welcoming so warmly all of these U.S. companies. And I don't want, if he were to become a member of the government, that to change. So that's a real concern that I have.
What about if he becomes a regular member of parliament in the opposition? Is that still a concern?
Well, yes, he would still be a member of government, so that would be a concern for us, yes.
Could we expect any moves from the U.S. government in terms of moving past the sanctions? Any foreign investigations in relation to the Mohammeds?
I can't really speak to that at the moment. We just know that he was sanctioned on June 11, 2024, and those sanctions remain. But I can't really speak to anything further at this time.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Take warning, you better take warning. Take warning, you better do good. Let your light shine bright, let your light shine right. Respect your fellow man as you should. Take warning, you better take warning. Take warning, you better do good. Let your light shine bright. Let your light shine right. Respect your fellow man as you should. The evil that men do lives after them. The evil that men do lives after them. Your evil today will blight your tomorrow. So do good today and avoid your sorrow.
Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata, Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my X next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
There and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
Su? Oh, Su. My relationship? Nothing. He's a tenant in my place, yeah.
And he's a good friend.
You could probably, on the maritime area, give Venezuela a channel out to the sea. So you make a slight concession in the maritime area